Hello and welcome back once again. We're going to be taking a look at this second NES here that I'm going to do a bit of cleaning and restoration on. And I think we're in for a nasty surprise with this one. I haven't actually seen the inside of it, but there's a lot of evidence on the outside that just screams nothing good can be inside of this thing. Interestingly enough, the cover on this one, the top, is not as bad discoloration wise as that first one was. I mean, we got a few little scuffs here and some marks and stuff, but it's really not in terrible shape. Like, it seems like it's got a pretty even sort of color all throughout. The other one we saw had like cleaner back end right here and the right side. It looks like what we would have expected to see when it was newer. But look down here at the RF modulator section. Well, the power supply slash RF modulator section. It is rusty. So this thing may have set in water or something at some point. I don't know, but it's really rusty in there. And not only that, I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear this, but I'm going to kind of flip it here by the microphone. There's a lot of stuff. Sounds like debris rattling around in there. I'm scared to open this thing up. Oh man, this thing's gonna be so gross. I can already guarantee you that. There's no evidence of what I saw in here earlier. I think it must have fallen back in, but yeah, there was something there that was pretty nasty, and I'm sure we'll see them inside. But other than those things and this little chip right here on the top cover, the buttons, they look in pretty good shape. They're not all discolored. Let's look down here underneath the bottom cover. Oh, gross. Yeah. Oh man, that's so nasty. I'm sure some of you know what that is. Yep, that's a dead roach. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lay something down here to catch all the debris and crap that's gonna fall out of this thing. Ugh. And no, don't worry, I didn't take this out of the cabinet with all the good baking pans. I only use this when I'm going to be dealing with something that's either messy, greasy, or nasty. Case in point. Alright, well, we're going to have to start off where we started off with the other one and remove all the screws out of the bottom. Okay, before I open this one up though, I am going to flip it over. Oh, and I hear stuff rattling around in there. Oh. Okay, let's shake stuff off the top here just in case. Here we go. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. There's apparently some sort of fluid that's been in there. Oh, there's rust up at the top. Looks like this may have sat in water or something. There's signs of water damage, or not water damage, but like water, just some fluid build up there. Oh geez, I knew this one was gonna have some stuff. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to put on some gloves. Oh, this is gross. Oh man, just look at that. Ah geez. And they're everywhere. This is like some bad mojo crap in there. Bits and pieces everywhere right there. Flipping it around the back. It's terrible. Guess we'll see how bad the RF section is. But yeah, see, I don't mind dealing with like greasy stuff, oily stuff, you know, just kind of general dusty whatever. You know, I'll touch that all day long, but this, yeah, this is gonna be a no for me, dog. No. Can't wait to see what we're gonna see underneath this thing. Kind of zoomed in there on the cart connector. It's got a bit of stuff on it as well, but ironically it doesn't seem to be as bad as the other one was. But I mean, we'll get a better look at it once we actually remove it. Try to take a quick squiz in there. Oh geez, yeah, stuff all over that board. Oh, this one's a one sick little Nessie here. Oh, this one's gonna take some work. Well, we're not gonna let some nasty little insects stop us, so let's do this. Thankfully, these screws haven't like completely rusted away. Alright, here we go. What's hiding underneath this shield? Oh, got bugs falling out. Nasty. But, yep, more rust. Nasty roach nastiness. Okay, I got all the screws off now. I got a bunch of these little roachy boys all over the place here. We're gonna count and see how many we find. I'm just gonna set them aside on this paper towel over here. Alright, let's see what's hiding underneath. It's kind of bad, but not like totally terrible. At least there's not like a bunch of corrosion on the board. There's a little bit like right here. Yeah, not too bad yet. It's at least not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, let's see. I have a feeling this one's probably going to look really clean on this side. Yep, that's nasty. But the underside of the board, where all the components are, is not too bad. So that's a good sign. And there's more and more of these little roachy boys in here. What do they do? Like soak this thing in water to try to drown them all or something? Okay, I think I managed to shake everything off of the bottom of the case here. So there's rust on the plastic and a lot of nastiness right there on that switchboard. We're gonna have to take like everything apart here and give it a good cleaning. Check that out. We'll count them all, but that's what I got so far. Missed one right here. Here's another one. Jeez. See what the inside of the RF modulator here looks like. More parts here. And a couple of small ones right there. I'm going to have to completely remove the RF modulator box off of the main board. That edge connector is not too bad shape. Yeah, surprisingly the edge connector on this one does not look anywhere near as bad as that other one. It actually looks fairly clean, except for in a few spots there is a little bit of corrosion, but even the plastic on top doesn't have like a bunch of residue on it. Right here on the right hand side there's a little bit of stuff, but it's really not anywhere near as much as the other one had. We're going to see if there's still any bug pieces or anything left inside of that RF and power supply module. Everything's in pieces now, and it's been fully taken apart. So I guess that just means that it's now time for a quick cleaning montage. As a somewhat well-known cartoon baboon once said, "It is time." So as you can see, I've got the monitor here primed with the GameCube video signal, because as we saw in the other videos that we had some issues with like running some older stuff for some reason. We might look into that later, not at the moment. I would like to get on with this and just get it done because I'm really behind on getting a lot of stuff done. So yeah, let's move on. Anyways, so that is ready. I've got power plugged into here. I have not tried anything at all with it yet, so whether or not it's going to work, your guess is as good as mine at the moment. And I've got the controller plugged in. We're going to try it with some of the same games that we already ran the first time around, only because I already had these on hand and because we know what to expect with these. So it should be a pretty predictable results as long as, you know, this thing is working. So I'm now going to disconnect the video signal and the audio. It's important that we test both on this because some of those capacitors that were bad were, I believe, for the audio in this thing. So we're just going to make sure that everything works. We're going to make sure that audio and video are both working correctly. So we're going to start off with the Repro Bubble cart, since this is the one with the best contacts that I should have. So here it goes, and I made sure that the video was connected this time, so yeah, we're not going to have that problem we had before. So here we go, and power. It's on, display's on. Yes, it works. Sweet. Didn't have to do anything else. I was really hoping to have to do like any troubleshooting at all, and looks like yeah, that's not going to be necessary at all. It's working perfect. One thing I do kind of notice though, I don't know if that's or I don't know, maybe it's just me. Kind of see like a little bit of graininess in the signal there, but I guess I would have to compare with a known working one, because I don't know if that's just kind of like the display sort of kind of artifacts due to the scaling or something. But anyways, yeah, this is working. So see, reset button works. Yep, that's all working. So let's go ahead and try a different cartridge. And we're going to do snake rattle and roll here. See how that looks. And no, actually, I think it looks, no, it looks fine. I think it's just me being a little too critical here, but no, I think it looks okay. Sounds okay. It's yep. So yeah, doesn't look like any problems at all. Let's try a few more here. The one that we did have some issues with was the Mario Brothers cartridge, but that one was just dirty contacts. I did clean them after the fact, so that should work for. Oh, this one didn't connect properly, but yeah, even that cart connector seems to be working pretty okay, and this one's not working. Of course, as soon as I say something, this one doesn't work. Okay, come on now. Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, really? Oh, there you go. Okay, it's working. Yep. Seems okay. You know, I'm a little curious. I am going to get another NES out here and try it out and see how the video signal looks. I don't know if maybe it also has something to do with the, I don't know, the RF modulator box on this one seems a little different than some of the other ones I've seen. So I don't know if maybe like a difference in the circuitry is also making kind of a difference in the video signal. So let's get another one and we'll compare it real quick. Alright, so we're going to swap this one out. Actually, I'll just put it on top here and we'll swap all the connectors out. To this one, this is a known good one. I haven't had to do anything to this one. This is a good one. Well, let's go ahead and try it with the bubble cart first, since I thought I saw some stuff on that one, though. See if we see it on this one or not. Okay, and here it goes. Okay. No, yeah, the signal looks the same. Okay, so it's just me kind of tripping out there thinking that there's something going on when there's really not. No, it looks identical. So, yeah, it looks like everything with this one is working fairly well. So I guess we can continue putting the rest of it back together, and we're pretty much done. And since I haven't really showed a close-up of it yet, this is basically what we ended up with. It looks so much better. and there's not a bunch of gross nasty bugs inside or droppings or any sort of corrosion. So definitely 100% improvement. And look at that RF modulator. No rust. Shiny. We're now ready to put the cover back on, and unfortunately, even though the inside of this, the internals look really good now, the top cover is a slightly different story. If you remember from the beginning, we had a little bit of a chip right here, but you know, that was already there. Unfortunately, a couple of bad decisions on my part caused the casing here to get a little bit more damaged than when we started. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a denting. This little piece right here kind of cracked, although I was able to glue that back on because it was still attached. And also kind of here and here. So what happened was I decided to give the cover the sunshine treatment like we did with the other NES. And the first time this thing took a tumble, I had set it on top of one of the stone pillars that's in our backyard. Well, it gets windy every now and then, so at some point I'm guessing a gust of wind, I mean, I'm not guessing, it's what happened. A gust of wind must have like hit it, and it blew it off of the pillar, and it landed on the concrete, and yeah, it caused a little bit of damage. So I thought, okay, well, shoot, whatever. And then the second thing I did was I was kind of looking for a sunny spot when I went out to the backyard, and I thought, wow, this is a nice sunny spot on top of this big fan. So I set the case on top of the AC unit outside, and because it was a nice sunny day and it was warm, I immediately went back into the house, and my dumb butt does what? Turns on the AC. And that's when I heard a clattering outside, and yeah, this thing was on the floor once again. So yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to live with that for the time being, but overall, I think it turned out pretty okay. It's not that bad. Couple of other quick little things that I was actually going to talk about while I was doing the video, but it was going on so long and the cleaning process just took hours that I just decided to make that whole little section just a little montage, and I would talk about this after the fact. So this is what I used. It's a UV curing solder mask for fixing all those little corroded spots on the board. And so I used a pick and a fiberglass pens to remove the solder mask that was already, peeling and cracking on all that stuff. So when I bought this stuff, I would have expected it to come with like a plunger or something, but it didn't. So I guess they were just expecting me to just kind of shove my finger here in its rear and push it out that way, which is what I ended up having to do. So it was a little hard to control how much of this stuff I was getting. And at first I tried to just kind of spread the stuff with a metal pick, but that was super time consuming and it was getting super annoying. So I ended up just putting a little blob on a piece of just clear plastic, and then I just took a brush and I was just kind of, brushing it onto where I needed it to go. So that was a lot easier, and I'm kind of glad I decided to do that instead. So that worked out pretty well. And to cure it, you also need a UV light. So I ended up getting this thing, which was advertised as a 48 watt UV bulb, or not bulb, but like a UV LED. And yeah, I really doubted that it was actually 48 watts, and sure enough, it's not. If we actually measure this thing, we can see that when it's on, I don't know how you're going to be able to see that, but yeah, it's really only like 3 watts. So yeah, that's kind of a far cry from a 48 that it claimed, but I mean, it works. It still did the job, so it works pretty well, so not too disappointed with that purchase. And I also mentioned that some of the capacitors were bad, and yeah, there was a few. They had a little bit of corrosion around the legs, and I kind of cleaned them up just to see. And even though some of these did not test bad, there was a few that did. And I decided if I'm going to replace, like one, I might as well just replace all of them. I don't want to risk any of these like being bad, and then, I'm going to have to replace them at some point anyways if they decide to fail. But the large one that's inside of the RF can, that one, it had no corrosion or anything on it, and it tested good, so I just decided to leave that one. If that one does need to be replaced, it's not a big deal because you don't really have to remove the whole can off the board again. Some of these smaller ones that were inside the RF can, those would have been difficult to, get to after the fact. So I just decided to replace everything, including the ones on the main board. And yeah, that big one's easy, so that's not too big of a deal. So that about wraps it up. I'm happy that it was fairly easy to take care of this thing, even though it did take a lot of hours of cleaning and, you know, all the little bit of prep work on the working on stuff. But it turned out to work pretty well. So thanks for watching once again. Let's not pound on that. I'll see you guys around the bench. So how many roaches ended up being inside of this thing anyway? I ended up counting a total of 42. Although that number was probably closer to 43 or 44, because after I had already wrapped this all up, I found that I had at least dropped one and maybe a few other pieces. So the count wasn't totally accurate, but close enough. There was also one roach casing in there. Well, only one thing left to do with this now.